Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer California, to be pseudo-specific. My name is BrianEngelman, and today is Friday, February 6, 2026. And what you are watching right now is called the TNAM Daily Show. TNAM stands for the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. Of course, we are a bunch of trash pandas over here. We are raccoons rifling through the rubbish, and the Epstein stuff is worse than you could imagine. And sadly, or obviously, it's still just the tip of the iceberg. Whew. Ancient blood cults. I wonder why things aren't being properly managed on this planet. It's like, well, you got a bunch of demonic vampire reptilian beasts just abusing innocent humans. Doesn't get worse than that. So it's been an interesting couple of days. It's been a tough couple of days. And so I would like to take this opportunity to start the show off right and just say a general spell of protection, a prayer for protection, a manifestation of protection. There's different ways that people articulate their connection with the supreme being, God, the grand architect of the universe. But Jesus Christ, Lord Almighty, as we delve into this disgusting information again today, trying to connect dots and demolish demons, we ask that you rise up from our root chakra, up through our pineal gland, and shoot a burst of bright white light into the atmosphere. And when it hits the top of the dome, it settles around us in a sphere of protection, protected by your angels, protected by your caring and forgiving and nurturing shepherd spirit. And give us the armor we need to protect our brains and our hearts, our souls, as we deal with the demonic. In your name we pray, amen. It's a lot. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And that's what it feels like in Georgia. It's the tip of the iceberg with the election rigging. You got the director of national intelligence seizing the polling documents, and you have the Democrats thrashing about wildly, saying the dumbest things you could say. No, you shouldn't have an ID. You don't need an ID to prove that you're eligible to vote. Yeah, the Democrat convention requires that you have an ID to prove who you are with your press credentials. Yes, you do. Yes, voting is perhaps one of the most important things that happens. And I assure you, what happens in, it's not Mesa County, Maricopa County, Arizona, impacts the people in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It impacts the people of Columbus, Ohio, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and Lewiston, Maine. Share. It's a nice callback. If you know, you know. Type in the comments what that's from. To Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles, California, New York, New York. If you can conquer and find a way to absolutely deliver whatever it takes to constantly overwhelm the rest of the will of the state just because you've locked down a specific city area, whether it's where Zohran Mamdani, the commie, is hanging out, or whether it's Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass are dining at the French Laundry during COVID. I don't think it was Karen Bass at the time. I think that was just Gavin Newsom. A lot of others. I don't think Karen Bass was in the picture at the time, but the point remains. The SAVE Act is beyond crucial, and we need to have a plan in place for, paper balloting, paper tallying. Oh, if there's another pandemic, nope. Like, what? Put the plan in place, and let's not wait until November. Let's not wait until September, October. We don't have time to implement this. There's no way that we could, enough. Just do it and do it now. Secure the elections and absolutely retire 95% of that deep state, demonic, divisive Democrat Party. The party that's polling at about 17% approval rating, which is way too high in my book. Way too high. Cannot leave this to chance. It seems as though just imagine the tip of the iceberg fraud that we're uncovering in Minneapolis and how they've overthrown 2% of the United States. And it's probably a different number of electoral college votes because that's a pretty important one. Actually, that's a good question. Let me ask. What percentage, Jamie, why don't you look this up for me? What percentage of Minnesota electoral votes, what percentage of Minnesota electoral votes overall nationwide? I wonder if I am asking this question. I don't know if I'm asking the question properly. They have 10 electoral votes. Okay, this is actually pretty exact. Now, I just did the easy math where I said, well, we have 50 states. They're 150th. That's 2% of our states. I'm like, well, I think they might be a swing state. They might have more electoral votes, and it might be different from 2% of the nationwide electoral votes. Guess what? Where'd it go? There it is. 1.86%. Round it to 2%. If we're just looking at a snapshot over a couple of weeks, couple of months of the rampant fraud in Minneapolis, Jacob Fry and Tim Walz on the hot seat. There's special investigations to indict these people for treason or theft or, oh my God. I mean, the laundry list of RICO stuff you could get them for is through the roof. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, please. Share the show with a friend. Toss it out some more. If they're doing what they're doing in Minneapolis, what do you think the Democrats are doing everywhere else? And if you actually only counted American citizens on the census, what is it going to take to get that through? That's a Supreme Court question. How is this even a question? No, you don't get an HOA vote for our community. You are not a resident of this community. Well, yes, I am. I live over there. You are not legally allowed to be here. No, you are not a voting resident in this community. You're not a citizen. You're not eligible. So what are the Democrats saying? Oh, their usual stuff. They think there's certain groups of people that are too stupid to get an ID. You need an ID to do everything in this country. 16, you need one for driver's license. 18 if you want to go see or 17 if you want to go see an R-rated movie. 18 for a pack of cigarettes. 21 for a bottle of beer. 25 to drive a car. Mortgage docs. Job applications. Everything requires an ID. I don't know who this unicorn magical group of the stupidest people on earth the Democrats expect you to believe are incapable of gathering an identification card, a state-issued ID that proves citizenship, thus eligibility to vote. But they don't have an argument because I really don't even recognize that argument. Oh, there's some people that just they're incapable of getting. Why are they incapable? Yes, they are. Everybody's capable. Stop talking down to people. Yes, everybody in America is capable of getting an ID. It's only for fraud. And you just have to wonder, just how bad has it been? Because my whole life, I've never understood how in the world could so many people be so backward on what they're voting for. And I've never thought America was a 51-49 country. Common sense, 9 out of 10 want the SAVE Act. They want the Save America Act. There's different versions of this, but the main gist of it is, yes, you must prove your eligibility. You're not allowed to be here voting. You're not on the list. You're not qualified. No, get out. 9 out of 10 people. Scott Adams would famously laugh about how 25% of people would be wrong about everything all the time. Nine out of 10 are right on this one. Who are the 10% that, nope, everybody should just do whatever they want always? Look, libertarians, I appreciate you on some regards, but my God, get a clue. Get a grip. You don't want any female in your life to open their legs for everybody they encounter. A nation cannot do the same. Best and the brightest, minimum application criteria. Speaking the language, not stealing from our public coffers the tax dollars that are intended to help American citizens, American babies, American children, American mothers, American fathers, American homes. You promise to speak the language. You promise to not reach in and try to steal anything from our American piggy bank. You're going to work and pay taxes and be productive. You're going to take civics courses and learn about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and make sure that you're not going to bring in an incompatible ideology such as Sharia that is incompatible with our Bill of Rights. These are basic components. We're going to run a full background check to determine the place that you're coming from, wherever that may be. I don't want people sneaking in from Russia or Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, South Africa, Uganda. Doesn't matter. I don't want anyone sneaking in here. None. It's a little different from wanting a police state. So this whole Palantir social credit score thing, Orwellian, let's not go that far. But if what a real ID is that it proves your birth certificate and your citizenship, then something along those lines is fine with me. No digital ID, no putting all of my social credit score. What are you posting on social media connected with bank accounts? You can turn this off if you don't like what I'm posting about the regime. No, I don't want to go that's not what I'm saying. I don't want that. But we need a better way right now to secure our country to make sure that only eligible people are voting. And what of the 300,000 missing children, many of which abused and disappeared on the trip up, and since they've ended up being put wherever they are? Working in a job capacity as a slave, forced to do degrading things as an S-slave. Republicans have always been the party against all of that. Democrats have always been the party in favor of that. They want cheap slave labor. And their corporations doing the same thing. How many of these mega corporations have been flooding their workforce with illegal aliens or people on some sort of temporary protected such and such or bogus asylum claims? We're going to unpack some of these fake asylum claims because the whole fake asylum scam is up. Stephen Miller laid it out just in an exclusively or extensive manner. So we're going to get to that. We're trying to build a better country here, and we got a lot of work to do. So we have a lot of stories to unpack. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend, type your comments in the comments section. Also, today at 3 p.m., we will be having a episode our pre-Super Bowl episode of Strictly Football with myself, Jim Mitchell, Ezrael Robinson, and Mike Barra. That's Strictly Football on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show here on the New American Media. That'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern. So without further delay, let's jump into the program and get the party started.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Question of the day, will you be watching the Turning Point USA Super Bowl halftime show? Also, who do you predict will win? And give me a score. That'll be Patriots versus Seahawks this Sunday. What say you? Now let's pull up your comments. Say hello to everybody in chat and get the party started. Lake Leon, howdy and good morning. Droopy Dog in the house. John Brenneman. Yes, Trash Panda, Texas. Hey, everybody. Marion. Yeah, Kenneth, you're right. Were you all going for a marathon show yesterday? My God, Kenneth, there's so much to get to. I was drained in a different way yesterday. I'm feeling refreshed. I do have a need to speed through the show at about 2 today. We did about double that, more than double that yesterday. I mean, I just glanced. There was so much to cover, and sometimes you're just trying to look some of these things up, and you're not entirely certain. What is this accurate? Is this inaccurate? We're not going to present things to you as being accurate. We're going to remind you that just being in the Epstein files doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. If a claim is investigated, it was deemed to be a non-credible source. And we're going to show you how this breaks down. We're going to show you that some people are buying into the propaganda. The problem with the list is, what is it, 3 million pages or 3 million document, however they're terming it, whatever term they're using, I think is what I'm trying to say. 3 million files, maybe they're saying. They're bits and pieces and redacted, and what do you do with that? There's proof. That's proof? What email is going to get you proof? Now, it seems obvious what's going on. The worst of the worst stuff you could imagine. And that is truly what I believe is going on. But every single thing we look at, everything we look at from here forward, everything we looked at during this past week, none of what we read is supposed to be delivered to you in a manner where we say, this proves it. This is one of the investigation hubs. America's autists are deeply entrenched, are hard at work trying to figure out every angle of what's going on. It's a lot to sift through. But there's a lot of fake stuff too. And if anything, did this list prove that Trump is just like all of them? Or does it show there's nothing in here that's been confirmed in any way? There's no evidence. There's no there. Yeah, Letitia James and Alvin Bragg et al. And who's that guy, Reid Hoffman, that helped get that lady to sue him in, what was that, New York? Was that Alvin Bragg? Was that Letitia James? It all blurs together. That E. Jean Carroll that was bankrolled by Reid Hoffman, right? Oh, Reid's on that list. What does that mean? I don't know. I mean, I think we know what it means, but we don't know yet. Oh, President Trump had 73 convictions. Yeah, I'm aware that you can manufacture cases to try to pin a scarlet letter on somebody. That doesn't make it verified. It doesn't make it true. Let's see how any of this stuff stands up to the appeal process. I mean, judges and district attorneys should lose their law license. They should be sued personally. It's egregious what's happened, all in an effort to frame Trump. And by the way, the effort to defeat President Trump was so impossible, so impossible that they tried to explode him in Butler, Pennsylvania. We were this close. That close. And the guy, that Ruth guy that had the sniper rifle at the golf course, thank God he didn't get the opportunity. He's sentenced to life plus 7 years, I believe, in Florida now. Multiple impeachments, all of the fake stories, and Obama and Biden. Obama, the week of the 2024 election, was still promoting the fake racist, anti-white, anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-conservative, anti-libertarian, non-lunatic. It was so racist to lie about President Trump calling Nazis fine people. It is so fucking vile. And he knows it. And he does it intentionally because that's Barack Hussein Obama's agenda. That is his MO, his modus operandi. That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he's about. A community agitator, organizer. Pumping that toxic, maybe the most divisive, racist, racial hoax in American political history as our first ever half white, half black president. A guy that could have united the country and said, look, we've come a long way. A kid from Kenya. I mean, I'm not from Kenya. Lineage. Don't listen to my brother. Nope. He's trying to give you the old okie doke. But look, only in America. I stand before you, half white, half black. It's time we recognize how far we've come. But that doesn't mean we don't have a lot more to go. With my administration, we're going to get a strong economy, a lot of safety. We're going to make our cities great. Really get rid of the corruption. Lower the waste. You can't be wasting. Fraud and the abuse. Look, you might not be Democrat. And you might know that I went to that little red schoolhouse. And where was that? Indonesia? All that brainwashing? All that commie crap? Look, set that aside. Frank Marshall Davis? No, come on. We're not talking. Come on. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about bathhouse Barry stuff. Look, we're not. Nope. No Larry Sinclair. No Big Mike. Nope. We're not getting into that okie doke. What about the underground? What was that? The domestic terrorist. That guy. Chicago. Kicked off my campaign in his living room. What the hell was that guy's name? What was it? Weather Underground? What's that guy's name? You get it. Look, you might not be Democrat, but you are an American. And, we're going to fix this together. We welcome the support. We're going to work together. I'm not just going to ram Obamacare through, take over 1/6 of the economy, and give you way worse coverage, way more expensive. Because if you like your doctor, you'll lose your doctor. If you don't like your plan, you'll lose your plan. Or if you like your plan, you'll lose your. Look, the point is, we're going to work on this together. Look, okay, I got to break out of that character. I'll stay. Yes, William Ayers. Thank you. Gosh, I haven't said his name in a while. William Ayers, Bill Ayers. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to break out of the Obama character. I love talking as Obama. Remind me again in the comments. QOTD Obama. Give me a score, 0 to 100. Where does it rank in my impressions? What's better than my Obama? I admit I don't really go back and listen to myself talk often. and your own ears only hear what you sort of hear. I have a lot of fun talking as Obama. That's for damn sure. I like the cadence. Get me into that character. I feel like I just want to stay in that character for the rest of the show. Yeah, but it was a marathon show yesterday. What were we talking about? Marion says she waited for all 3 of the advertisements on YouTube. Thank you so much for tossing a penny into the wishing well. We do appreciate it. That is a good time to remind you here. I'll put it up on the screen. Scrolling at the bottom of the screen, this is your reminder that you are watching the TNAM Daily Show. We have donation links. Instead of reading you something about bearskin hoodies, actually, I shouldn't give you the product names until they're actual sponsors, because but when I watch Rumble or I watch YouTube, I know what they advertise to me. But yeah, instead of advertising another company for survival foods or this or that, what I will say is please consider signing up for at least the free version of Patreon. And if you're feeling kind, you can do like for $10 a month or $100 a month or $1,000 a month on Patreon, depending on where you're at. Ooh, got to sneeze. That was a race against time to find that mute button. Whew. Wow. So that's Patreon. You can also subscribe as a monthly supporter on Rumble and YouTube. I think for like $5 a month, or there's different levels. I think that's how it works. Thank you to our current subscribers on Patreon, on Rumble, on YouTube. You're on all the sites. We need more. We need to grow this program. It's time to double and then double that. Really need to boost the reach of this show. We cover a lot of important stories. We have a lot of fun. We build a good community, but all right, let's expand. It's time to expand. So thank you to everyone who is a monthly subscriber on Rumble and YouTube. Also, I'm up here bartending. You're sitting here at the bar, regulars or first time in. Welcome to every one of you, by the way. But I'm up here working for tips. So if you want to throw something in, we have Rumble Rants and Super Chats. Rumble Rants and Super Chats. You get to smack a few bucks on the table and slide it across the bar. So consider doing so as Rumble Rants or Super Chats. And if you want to toss something over digitally on one of these other sites, we're on Venmo and Cash App at my name, Brian Engelman. And on PayPal at fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com is the email address. All scrolling at the bottom of your screen if you want to pause it and use it there. By the way, for countervailing views on health and elections, go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control. Go get your countervailing views, because they'll tell you that there was nothing inorganic about COVID. There was nothing suspicious about the 2020 election. Please blink 3 times if you are under duress and being forced to say this by the overlords at the little tech giants that love censorship at Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, Twitter, X, probably legacy code there, and anywhere else in the universe. I know a lot of these stories are going to get into dicey topics today, so let's get it going. But yes, Marion, thank you for waiting for those 3 ads to play. It is like a penny in the wishing well. You know, a few thousand pennies, a few 10,000 pennies, 100,000 pennies, a quadrillion pennies. That's a shitload of pennies. All right, Marion says, amen. Good. Glad we had that simultaneous prayer. Ooh, yeah, something like that. Yeah, Jamie has left the building. There is no Jamie. I am Jamie. What percentage of Minnesota is ice? A lot of it. Jamie, more like lamey. I think it's lame that I don't have a Jamie. Do pirates prefer R-rated movies? That was just sitting there. Thank you. Kenneth, our resident jokester. Appreciate you. Common sense went away with the penny. Yes. Although 50 Cent says he's going to expose Jay-Z, so stay tuned. Heard Lady Liberty sleeps around. Well, you know, to the highest bidder sometimes. Marion says she'll be watching Turning Point halftime and turning off. How do you watch the Turning Point halftime? Are there multiple ways to watch it? Do we know how to watch it? Kenneth predicts New England will win. Lake Leon says the Seabirds are going to beat the Pats by 9 and will not be watching. Marion says Seahawks are going to win 34-28. All right. Can you believe that? You know, a lot of people say, look, I was talking to Michelle the other day. You know, she said, Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Kenneth gives my Obama a 98. All right, take it. It doesn't get much better than that. Is Obama? Oh, RFK is the best. Sometimes thanks. The RFK is fun. Obama says it's a 69. Now look, I said from the beginning, we're not doing any of those, no big Mike jokes. We're not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent, at this juncture. Okay, the Obama gets a 70. Okay, it's passing. It's passing. Marion says the RFK is 100%. Well, all right. All right, let's get into the stories of the day. Like I said, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend, Rumble Rant Super Chat. All right, let's pull up our Instagram feed. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, The New American Media. Rifling through the rubbish. Let's go. Colin Rugg shows us a daycare worker caught on camera removing her shoe. Over there. Takes the shoe off. And then that lady gets out of the way. And she stands up, takes the shoe. And then chucks it. Oh. And then goes and picks up is that a kid? That's a kid. Chucks it at a 5-year-old special needs girl while the other employees appear to laugh. Los Angeles daycare. Destiny Development Center. Daniel Williams suggests it's an accident because the worker was just throwing shoes into another room. But the woman and the 2 other employees who didn't report the incident were fired. Mother said her daughter told her about the incident right after it happened, but she wasn't allowed to see the surveillance footage for 2 weeks. I've been with these people for 3 years. I really thought my baby was safe with them. Yep, don't trust anyone with your children. We need to demand that our money be returned to some sort of purchase power and have somebody stay at home raising the kids. It doesn't work when the government raises your kids. You're getting the brainwashing coming out of our school systems. There are 3 pillars holding up the bar stool of the Democrat Party. It's the lying legacy media, the education system, and the actors in the Democrat Party they all work together. They all just work together, brainwashing your kids, causing literal brain damage, making them confused about who they are, promoting all sorts of bad stuff. Keep it rolling. Sam Tripoli says, the people who are kids, they want you to have a social credit score. So, all right, we're in agreement. We don't want to do that. What is this? Okay. All right, I'm just going to read you the ones when I post something. Sometimes it's a 10 or 20 meme dump, and I'm sitting here reading them along with you, and they're not all bangers. Like some of them are just, but that's been happening a lot lately. I share one thing, but there's 10 other things I want to get to in that. I don't know. Can't do a 6-hour show though. All right, what is this? Soy Boy Destroyer. Professor at UCLA was sending Jeffrey Epstein emails advising him on how to get babies. Okay, let me just listen to this lady.
I wanted to give you guys a quick update on Mark Tremo, who is the UCLA professor who emailed Jeffrey Epstein tips to get infants to suck more vigorously on a pacifier. I went and stood outside of his building at UCLA yesterday with a giant sign with his quote. And on the other side, it said, "Fire Mark Tremo." And I screamed by myself for an hour. At the end, when my voice was shot and I was exhausted. The department head came up to me. He let me know they're not renewing his contract, and I suggested he better get his name off of that website if they don't want this to continue daily. Guys, our voices can be heard. We just need to get out there and do it.
Good Lord. That is terrible. Marion says, oh, is that the daycare getting government funding too, where they're throwing shoes? Oh, come on, seriously now. Who throws a shoe? Question of the day. Type in the comments below if you know what that quote's from. Yes, Kenneth, that is a leering center in action. Marion streams Real America's Voice, and they've been advertising for the American halftime. TPUSA halftime be seen on YouTube. Oh, so it'll be on YouTube, X, and Rumble. Okay. Daily Wire Plus, Real America's Voice, TBN, Charge, War Room, and many others. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is just disgusting stuff. The worst of the worst. Let's keep going. Alpha Fox. If the Epstein files were released in the 1990s instead of today, before testosterone levels plummeted, there would be all-out war over this. Puberty says login info for a few of Epstein's email accounts was accidentally leaked in the latest Epstein files release, briefly giving people full access to his email accounts. It's been discovered that his email accounts had activity after his death in 2019. Oh, really now? TRG says, no doubt these people were Satanists. What's he posing with? Horns here? Here you go. DJ Lippy says, Epstein wasn't the final boss. He wasn't even a kingpin. He was a secretary, a fixer, a doorman. There are many more islands and many more networks. Much remains veiled behind the matrix. You only see what they want you to see. He was exposed for a reason. Look deeper. This isn't over yet. That feels accurate. The Rothschilds. Take a look at the artwork surrounding him. Look at the statue. I mean, it all has a demonic vibe, does it not? What? Unka says this goes far beyond what many imagined. And it looks like a little child cowering. It's like two of them as like at the base of these. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Shay says, think about this for a second. They burned cities down, rioted for weeks, and nonstop media meltdown all over a crackhead dying in custody. Meanwhile, we have literal mountains of evidence, flight logs, survivor accounts, videos, documents that politicians, celebrities, and elites are R-ing, Emming, T-ing, and sacrificing our children. And what do we get? Nothing. Absolute silence. I am so sick of it here. Tony says, the most foul, disgusting release of confirmed conspiracies being true the past few days. And this is the stare you get back in return. Absolutely wild. DJ says, reality is such nightmare fuel that if you try to talk about current events with someone who is blissfully uninformed, it is quite literally impossible not to sound delusional, conspiracy-pilled, and widely schizophrenic. We played this one yesterday about the lodge in every city. Bark says, why does it feel like the entire economy is being stolen right now? Nothing looks organic, and literally every asset class is manipulated by insider trading at this point. The goal isn't to fix the system anymore. It's to extract every last dollar before the collapse. Rabbit Hole says, since the pandemic started, workers around the world lost $3.7 trillion, while billionaires gained a record $3.9 trillion. This is the fastest and largest wealth transfer in history, yet nobody wants to talk about it. Ben says, boomers grew up in low-cost, high-wage paradise with impeccable demographics. They have nothing to be angry about. Yet, when I witness their public interactions with customer service, they're furious at every cashier like they're running a global conspiracy to scam them. Don says, I really hate how this country forces you to think about money so much. Every single thing circles back to money. I hate it. Oh, yeah. By the way, we have Rumble Rants and Super Chats, and sign up on our Patreon. Money does make the world go around, people. Yeah, not a big fan either. I was listening to a Cleveland sports show, and they were referencing the John Goodman. Let's get the John Goodman quote. This is from The Gambler, a remake starring Mark Wahlberg. Goodman plays Frank, a tough loan shark who gives a raw, profanity-laced speech to Wahlberg's character about the power of having enough money to live independently and tell anyone to go to hell without consequences. Quote, you get up to $2.5 million. Any asshole in the world knows what you do. You get a house with a 25-year roof, an indestructible Jap economy shitbox, a vehicle. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. Get me? That's your fortress of effing solitude. That puts you for the rest of your life at a level of F you. Somebody wants you to do something, F you. Boss pisses you off, F you. Own your house. Have a couple bucks in the bank. Don't drink. That's all I have to say to anybody on any social level. Did your grandfather take risks? Yes. I guarantee he did it from a position of F you. A wise man's life is based around F you. It's a great quote. Also, Rumble Rant Super Chats. Okay. Nick says, I don't have the language for it, but we do not live in reality anymore, and everything is a grift. All right, let's keep it moving. There's this red panda koala from the Garbaggio conspiracy shares this. And by the way, every single thing, a friendly reminder, every single thing that I share, I don't know if they're accurate posts. How could you possibly understand exactly what these 3 million things are, as well as the things that are being misinterpreted? Please do your own research. And if we find anything that's incorrect, send a message. Let's correct it together. I will never intentionally show you anything that I deem to be false and try to sell it to you differently. I'll never do it. Red Panda Koala says Jeffrey Epstein claimed that Hillary Clinton had a sexual relationship with former attorney and White House counsel Vince Foster. That's the same Vince Foster who allegedly committed ecocide in 1993.
Epstein claimed that Hillary Clinton had a sexual affair with White House counsel Vince Foster. Foster committed suicide.
My uncle worked for the Clintons. I can 100% confirm, and he's on Jay Leno. You can look him up, Roger Perry, and I can 100% confirm that they're both having affairs. Why do you think that whenever Bill get called out on this, they were in this together? Their marriage is not like how you see yours, right? Yeah. These people are. This is a collaboration. This is.
Epstein claimed that Hillary Clinton had a sexual affair with White House counsel Vince Foster.
Oh, and Webster. Ooh, they look. Ooh, wow. American Revivalist says, hey, remember the carpet fibers on the bottom of Vince Foster's feet? Found him in the middle of a park? Yeah, it was suicide then, too. Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. We're just going to share this again because it's the best thing you'll see all day. People screaming that we need to get ICE out of our communities are blocking the roads. Listen to this lady.
Are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
In the middle of the road at 32nd and Cedar Avenue, a makeshift roadblock turned this intersection into a roundabout.
We're literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of the neighborhoods, which is the exact point of ICE, to determine the background check of every single person in this country. Are you a dirtbag, a known dirtbag? Filtered out. Go now. No, not go. We are taking you out, never to return. She says, get out of our neighborhoods, ICE. We're now going to stop every vehicle and determine who they are. We want to know who's coming and going. Yeah, we do too. Except we have the law and common sense on our side. I mean, I played that for you yesterday. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like this Politabrawl streetcast. They ask one of these ladies, "Will you sign our petition?" Take a look.
Ask you a quick question. We're trying to get back undocumented people who were deported by ICE. Do you support that?
Of course I do.
Could we get your signature real quick? We're part of the Bring Them Back campaign.
Of course I support bringing them back.
Specifically, Darwin Vasquez Ramos, who was deported in Maryland this week. And I do have to tell you, he was convicted of third-degree sex offense, but we think he deserves a second chance.
Okay.
Could we just get your signature? And what do you think about what's going on with ICE right now?
Well, it upsets me very much. We don't look like our country anymore.
We don't look like our country.
Yeah.
If you support bringing him back to the U.S., he needs a place to stay. Could he come and stay with you?
No, I don't have any place for him to stay.
No, not in my backyard.
You don't?
But you have my signature.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you.
That first lady blocking the street, her name has got to be Karen. First name, middle name, last name. That'd be funny. Hello, David. Welcome. Friday with Friends. Exactly. It's a free-for-all Friday with Friends. David chiming in Ontario, making us an international program. Here's Hillary Clinton's. Democrat lies. Show them this all, and all you'll get is silence. So here, watch.
But we have to send a clear message. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
Oh!
Ooh-wee. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws.
Yes, they did.
And I believe that they must be held accountable.
That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before.
If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked.
Gotcha, bitch.
Well. They have to have a way to earn their way into the deal. This is an amnesty.
It's not amnesty. It sounds like Joe Biden's about to. Well, which version of Joe Biden is this? Because there's reports in the Epstein files I'm finding, or maybe they're true, maybe they're false, about the mask of Joe Biden. You can see the mask coming off. It's not really Joe Biden. It's an actor playing Joe Biden. Or it's a robot playing Joe Biden. Or it's an alien playing Joe Biden. We'll have to look that one up. But Joe Biden here, I think he says a lot of the same things that I've said about immigration. You know, the basic common sense stuff.
They're required to take 11 years worth. They pay a fine. They got to learn to speak English. They got to pass tests.
English part.
Yeah.
Broken borders. That's an oxymoron. Something we can't tolerate.
Well.
For the Democrats, support strong border control. And it must be part, and the first part, of any comprehensive immigration reform.
So were they lying about it then, and they're just being honest now because they had Biden for 4 years, and it was just Obama with an earpiece, with a microphone and an earpiece? You know, I got a phone and pen. I'll tell Joe, get out there with Mayorkas and just say, white Europeans, they're not going to be the majority in the United States real soon, and that's a good thing. Say it twice, and that's a good thing. With that creepy smile, give them that. So the question is, were the Democrats lying then, or did they go crazy during the Obama, mostly Biden years? 111, make a wish. Wish sent. Health, wealth, wisdom, and love. How about that? And all sorts of other things. Yeah, you got to start with health. And then wealth so you can get by. Then wisdom so you know what to do with it. But yeah, were the Democrats a common sense party at some point in our lifetime? It's so hard to even remember a Democrat party that wasn't absolutely bonkers.
But we have.
So I don't know. I should save this because it's the best thing you'll see. Had a chance to meet Tyler Fisher a couple of weeks ago. One of the best Trump impressions on earth. Enjoy this. It doesn't, he actually becomes Donald Trump. This is so good. Let's put him on big screen. Here we go. Tyler Fisher.
Shall we, excuse me, we look closely at the Epstein files. I mean, these are big files. We said, sure, there's a lot of files. I said, wow, there's a lot of files. It's like millions, like 3 million. And nobody could do this. I mean, these are the biggest, like, we needed a 18-wheeler, you know, something that Rosie O'Donnell has to use to go to the bathroom. This was a big truck. And he says, so many files. And we said, nobody else could do it. Think of that, right? Nobody else could do it, right? We couldn't. We looked at Putin's files. They were so small compared to these. Couldn't do it. And Macron, the French, right? The French guy, the little baguette, I call him macaroon, right? He's like a little gay pastry, macaroon. He's got the beard. He's a little gay. He's got the wife that could be a man. We're looking closely at that, at her penis. Or his penis. We're looking closely.
We're looking closely at that. He literally becomes Donald Trump. These mannerisms, these little non sequiturs, perfection. I love a good impression.
At it. And they call it a beard. Have you heard of this? They say like a gay guy's got a wife. They say that's the beard. This is a freaky one because the wife is actually a man who really has a beard. It's really wild. But we're looking at the beard closely. But nobody could do a file this big. And I said, as bad as it looks, it's still the biggest file anyone's ever produced. And I think that's, if you look at that, that's something. It's not nothing. I said, it's not nothing. Wow, it's not nothing. But we're going to look page by page. And we'll be getting back a lot of things, a lot of information soon. And Stephen Hawking, wow, I couldn't believe he was in the files. How does he do it with the wheels? The wheel in the wall, right? We like the wheel in the wall, but okay, no more questions.
It's so Trump-like. He just wanders. He just meanders in these. He's got to have bullet points written out. He has an idea of where he's going. It can be so rambly. That's our moment of Zen a little early today. Tyler Fisher. All right. Don't know this account. Savannah Guthrie's mom is missing. Her home is described as a crime scene. They're saying in 2019, Guthrie interviewed Virginia Guthrie. Guthrie to Guthrie? And 5 other Epstein survivors. And the story never came out due to legal and safety concerns. Let me ask, did Savannah Guthrie interview Virginia Epstein survivors? Let's ask. What does Grok say? Yes, she did an interview with Virginia Guthrie, also known as Virginia Roberts Guthrie, and other Epstein survivors. Okay. September 19, shortly after Epstein's deaths, NBC News aired an exclusive Dateline special titled Reckoning. Savannah Guthrie conducted interviews with 6 women who had accused Epstein of assault and trafficking. It included Virginia and some first-time speakers. Multiple. Virginia, who passed away in 2025, was one of the most prominent and vocal Epstein accusers. NBC interview was a significant moment in her public advocacy. Guthrie also interviewed other individual accusers separately. Jennifer Arreoz in 2019, but the Dateline special in 19 was the key group. Okay, so it did air. So the fact that they never aired, that's incorrect. Promoted heavily. NBC. Why would NBC, the CIA channel, allow a special on Epstein unless they're giving you the Epstein story they want you to hear? It's not accurate that it didn't air due to legal or safety concerns. I can't hit a thumbs up, the like button for some reason. That's too bad. But in the comments here, I'm going to say per Grok, and let's address this. Remember when Cat Williams said this not too long ago? Talking to Shannon Sharp here. Shannon, who was acting a little sus the other day when the person he was interviewing said, if someone harms the kid that I love, I will take him out personally. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, On God, I'll do it. That's the energy we need. Shepherds willing to defend your flock from demons. We have a right to defend our loved ones with maximum fury, precision, and skill. Remember when Cat Williams said this, though? What was done in the dark will come to light.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light. All people that love the truth got to be happy if the truth coming out and lies is getting exposed. That's just what time it is. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
All lies will be exposed. I sure hope so. Oh, boy. Give you a moment of this one.
There's a reason why they pushed the conspiracy label so hard. Because there's so many acts that are taking place in this world that are so sick that people would only think it's a conspiracy. Donald Trump is preparing us for the very worst. Yesterday, his post took us to Haiti, the adoption process, satanic rituals, and child sacrifices. Where his post recently had the word cooking in twice. And if you type in cooking into the Q posts, it takes us to spirit cooking. And it says, you didn't think spirit cooking was just pretend, did you? And it gives you a link to the Cannibal Club, cannibalism. Well, Donald Trump's been preparing us for a little while. Can you remember a few times where he mentioned Hannibal Lecter?
During the campaign, I talk about the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Do you know who that is, Hannibal Lecter? Silence of the Lambs. I'd talk about it and the fake news would go crazy. Why does he keep mentioning? Well, they don't want to have Hannibal in our midst.
Can you remember the movie where it showed us?
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Can you remember the TV program where it showed us?
What happened to his leg? Maybe the killer had to cut off his leg just so he'd fit.
What did Dr. Lecter say?
All right, well, that's music, and that's too many seconds of clips from shows, but you get the point. Yeah. Is there a reason Trump kept mentioning Hannibal Lecter in his speeches? Good God. So I'll play you a moment of this. This is Savannah Guthrie talking about her 84-year-old mother who's being held for ransom.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny.
So yeah, it's been a while since I watched Silence of the Lambs. Too dark to even think about now. Well, I mean, they're advertising in broad daylight. It's time to find some cages appropriate. Way past time. Anyway, we're not going to play the 4-minute video here, but if she's being held for ransom, she's ready to talk. You know, and so she has connections to Epstein. Could any of this have to do with anything? Don't know. This lady here, former Turning Point USA PR manager Aubrey Leitch, recently let go, believes she was terminated after 5 years of employment due to questioning the official Charlie Kirk assassination narrative.
Employee's name in November, and other young
Bill Gates and
this all from Toria Brooke. A Dutch court orders Bill Gates and Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla to testify over lying about the safety of mRNA vaccines. Oh, Toria Brooke, is that true?
You can go and sleep.
Oh, you missed when Trump said this yesterday. We played it.
We have quarters prepared for you. I said, no.
About being up on Air Force One, take a nap.
No, I don't have to sleep. I've been on a plane sleeping for I'm sleeping the plane. I don't sleep on planes. I don't like sleeping on planes, you know. I like looking out the window watching for missiles and enemies, actually. But he said, "Sir, we have a place prepared for you, and we can meet after you've rested." I said, no. Let's go. You can go.
I like how he brings his head back. And they said, "So we have a place prepared for you." It's just funny. Oh, what's this? It's about Jay-Z or just New York? Don't know. Keeping it moving. Melania movie has been pulled from Lake Theater and Cafe in Lake Oswego, Oregon, after the location used a Sun Tzu quote on the marquee to advertise, "To defeat your enemy, you must know them." Whoa. Oh, I mean, that's openly calling to hurt people going to see the Melania movie. Wow. Tory Brooks says 35 countries out of 85 present, include the U.S. and China, refused to sign a joint declaration on the responsible use of military AI at the REAIM summit. Okay. Insider paper says U.S. authorities charged 11 people for their alleged involvement in schemes to recruit Americans into sham marriages with Chinese nationals seeking to fraudulently obtain residency papers. We've got to stop this stuff, according to the Justice Department. No, it should not be easy to just sneak in here. Show up on a weekend trip, take a month vacationing in Beverly Hills, crap out a kid and fly back to Saudi Arabia. No, that kid's not an American. If you're born to two American parents, you don't get to become an American just because you're born on the soil. The remnant of the Civil War, to make sure every former slave who was born on this land, that's far different from the intention of what it's being used for birth tourism today. And you cannot tell me otherwise. I have extensive knowledge of how that system works. And that is how it works. So deal with it. President Donald Trump endorses Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban for re-election. Because, of course. What? February 10th, McDonald's launching an online-only limited edition free kit of caviar ahead of Valentine's Day. McCaviar.
It out. McDonald's and Paramount are giving away these kits for free on February 10th. More.
Okay. Mother of pearl caviar spoon. Okay. Guess that's where we're at now. Ford, who was on the show a week or two ago. Ford Fisher news to share. Was this Real Esposito shares this, says badass moment as Antifa chief Kyle Wagner gets arrested in a pre-dawn raid in Minneapolis with heavily armed DHS agents. Epic FAFO. Take a watch. Maybe this is what hell would sound like. A gnashing of teeth, a wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Hey, back up! Back up! Back up! I think you get it. Whistle.
Kyle Wagner, Antifa chief. Good. John Solomon tells us about a big opportunity with the 2020 election fraud case.
We were told by Chris Wray and other officials after the 2020 election, we had a perfect election. There were no major foreign intrusions or foreign attempted intrusions in the 2020 election. I pretty quickly debunked that about a year later when I reported that Iran actually had hacked into a battleground state's registration system and downloaded more than 100,000 identities and was using them. Eventually, 2 guys got indicted in Manhattan. That's a really significant intrusion. That was not what Chris Wray told us. Then we learned from Kash Patel a couple of months ago that China was sending driver's licenses into the United States in 2020 in hopes that they could be used to create fake ballot registrations. That is a second really significant intrusion. Both of those are run contrary to what Chris Wray and other Homeland Security officials gave us as statements during the time. I believe that the President of the United States is soon going to be briefed by Tulsi Gabbard and other intelligence officials based on my reporting about additional intrusions, significant large-scale intrusions into various forms of our election system. Now, I'm not talking about getting a machine and flipping the vote, but maybe getting enough of state voter databases that a foreign power could work with people on the ground in the United States to fill out fake registrations for people who are on dirty voter rolls. Those licenses.
Anyway, they're going down into a whole bunch of things, but there is actual evidence. There is actual evidence. So stay tuned. I'm waiting to hear the conclusion of this, the DNI report from Tulsi Gabbard. Prayers to Kenneth, by the way, who hurt his McNuggets in a bicycle accident. In a tragic bicycle accident. All right, here's Ben Swan. You see him in the intro to our show every day. Giving you a brief overview here.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else.
That was President Trump wanting to move on the conversation from the Epstein files. But you know what? There is so much that we still need to cover. In fact, like this, an unclassified FBI document from 2020. Take a look at this. It describes a video of Jeffrey Epstein torturing a young white female. It says is ages 11 to 13 years old with dark-colored hair. She was tied down, it says.
All right. You get it. It's going to go really dark places. I got to move fast on today's show. I don't really want to hear all the graphic, gory details, but rest assured, it's demonic stuff. Check out Ben Swan's continued reports, please. And there's just, frankly, there's a lot of music. They said, sir, I want in the background. I said, it's not really in the background. It's kind of right in the front, not in the back. They call it the weave from front to back. Gotta, do the thing. But yeah, it's too much music for me to play. But check it out.
Politics.
Okay, this Asmongold guy, Epstein, talking about the origins of the Illuminati.
And business. And leadership. What do I mean? He formed something called the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is some spooky stuff. People said it was some of the people that, the Illuminati, there's some mystery.
No way. Oh my God.
About it, people that ran the world.
Actually said it.
It was politicians, but David said most countries, the politicians get elected for 4 years or 8 years, separate from the royal families in England or in the Middle East.
He explains the difference between a politician and the deep state.
Someone's there for 4 years and then they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
The most important people to have stability and consistency would be businessmen. So he formed this Trilateral Commission of businessmen and politicians from three.
He's literally talking about how they made the fucking, basically the Illuminati. This is, so you literally have, so remember when I said this is like a dev video? What the fuck? It's literally just a debit. Alex Jones was right about everything.
Oh, I got something about Bill Maher. Hopefully I can get to it.
Politics.
Let's keep it moving. Tucker and Connor discussing mass migration.
If they're paying foreigners to have kids while you can't afford to have kids, if they're shaking you down with the armed police, but allowing foreigners a pass, if they're paying to fix foreigners' cars but not yours, they hate you and they're trying to kill you, right?
It's an erasure. It's an attempted erasure of our people.
100%.
That is it. I could have went all that way in the White House. I had to climb. We had to you go incrementally up, right? You go in. Hey, you talk about a genocide. This is the genocide of our people.
Obviously. If they're paying foreigners to have kids while you can't.
All right, keep it moving. Imagine how much propaganda it took to convince people this is normal. But this is crazy. Just normal American stuff. Let's do "We Are Not Crazy" button. I like dropping little breadcrumbs back to our site. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Was a Sean Spicer show talking about Minnesota chaos.
There is a reason they're executing this playbook. Why did they have to move to bring in all the illegal aliens? They began to realize the rightward lurch of the country.
Yeah, the country's moving right because we can't stand the left.
Over the 2010 to 2024 period.
We call that the Obama doctrine blowback.
So they needed to bring in a new crop of voters who would be with them because the voters in America had left the Democratic Party. They did.
And they left the blue cities too.
Did not like the leftward tilt that Obama started and that Joe Biden accelerated and AOC represents.
And remember, I call the third Barack Hussein Obama, I call the Joe Biden term, the stolen term, I call the Joe Biden residency the third and most honest Barack Hussein Obama term. The third and most honest Barack Hussein Obama presidency.
And so they import voters to first hijack apportionment, meaning your representation in Congress and how much federal funds come in. Now, once they bring those voters in, they move them to the battleground states that they're trying to keep in their column. So that's why Michigan and Minnesota and Wisconsin have these large influxes of illegal immigrants, why you have sanctuary cities. Then to keep those folks here in a country where we say illegal aliens aren't entitled to welfare, they had to either allow fraud to go on or they had to do a workaround.
So many workarounds.
On the legal prohibition against welfare to illegal aliens by calling them something that they're not, refugees, and then creating a refugee entitlement program. And when that wasn't enough, they looked the other way when fraud came in. They're trying to use taxpayer money to fund their future political ambitions. And Donald Trump has reversed that in 1 year faster than any president or in American history. We had a net decrease in foreign-born residents in America last year. It's the first time it's ever been achieved.
First time ever?
This is a threat to their entire model.
Good. Sorry, this isn't Sean Spicer. This is the guy from Real America's Voice. What's the guy's name? John Solomon on the Sean Spicer show, I guess. Yeah, they are the most destructive, Marion. Agreed. Here you go. Here's a reminder. This was just very touching. This whole 1924 U.S. Christian Watson. Life is too short to worry so much. This is an excellent thread. It's very emotional. There's no music though. I thought there was music. I know that there was music. Yeah, but this whole animation thing is really nice. This one says, I hope death is like being picked up from the back seat and carried to my bed, half asleep, where tucked in and eyes closed, I can hear those who love me talking through a cracked door. It's just really interestingly stated. Life is too short to worry too much. That was the main one I wanted to share. All your worries will stop someday. Maybe I don't exist in the future I'm so worried about. That's a wild perspective. Kind of changes things. Thank you for your life. Nothing changes if nothing changes. How lucky am I that some things didn't work out? Hey, quick question. What the heck? Anyway, it's a really good thing to follow. 1924 US Instagram. Just really interesting animation. I liked it a lot. Christian Cooper says, politicians be like, so you're really going to believe this solid concrete evidence instead of me? Kenneth says, my worries have worries. Thanks, Lake Leon. Yes. Oh, so now you want music? Well, I recall watching it with music yesterday. I like playing a 2 or 3 seconds and then shutting it off so you can at least get the vibe set. I could have swore there was music to it yesterday. Elections be like, you want Moloch or Baal for the next 4 years? Ugh. This is a great answer. Other than everything, I'm fine. What a long day. I think I'll unwind by scrolling the evidence that our overlords are demonic pedophiles. Yeah, right. Dear schizos and conspiracy theorists. Here, I'll follow. This is a good drop. I don't know who this is. Christian Cooper. Dear schizos and conspiracy theorists, the good news for you is you were right. And the bad news for us is you were right. Yeah, we're microdosing hell by staying informed. Dance like no one is watching. An email like it may be one day included in a 3 million page document release. That's good. Who wore it better, a redacted sheet? After consuming 1,200 milligrams of caffeine and reading demonic email exchanges between the elites that rule our world, I don't know. I'm feeling weirdly anxious right now. Anyone else? Fighting the millennial urge to flip off every camera you see and let the government know that you know. Where can I get grenades? I'm furious, says Christian. You know, I don't always have great judgment, but I've always had a weird feeling about Ben Shapiro. Uh-oh, getting close there. Just one more election, you guys. We can fix it this time for real. I know, but step one, remove as many Democrats as possible. Then we can talk about getting rid of the whole set. Like, step one, get as many Democrats away from the steering wheel as possible. Step one. That can be accomplished in these midterms. Save Act, retire them all. And then drop the indictments with the force of a sledgehammer. Sorry about all of the correct stuff I said when I was right. Sorry about all the correct stuff I said when I was right. God, that's good. Millennials really went through all this and collectively decided to get sober too. Yeah, there is a whole trend to like leave intoxicants. Hey, remember Andrew Breitbart? Isn't that where Steven Crowder started? The Breitbart tree. Breitbart was there right at the beginning of the New American Media, and he was taken out shortly after Obama seized control. Did he really get elected? Maybe. Did Andrew Breitbart pass away of legitimate circumstances, or was he taken out? I don't know.
This is a concerted effort. This is a concerted effort. Politics of personal destruction. Fuck you, John Podesta.
All right. Well, you see where I'm coming from.
Okay. Yeah.
When I talk, that's because I'm interested in this ongoing, whatever the hell they're doing.
What's in your closet, John Podesta? Big Podesta? Big Soros? Do you want us to play these games? Because we're playing to win.
How Prague guru John Podesta isn't a household name as world-class underage sex slave op cover-upper defending unspeakable dregs escapes me. We are all Breitbart button. Breitbart was a big loss. A lot of people thought that Obama had him taken out. He said he was going to expose a whole bunch about Obama, and he was taken out almost immediately.
Tonight,
Los Angeles story here about LA Mayor Karen Bass. Oh my gosh. She could be in a huge ton of trouble.
we're learning billionaire real estate developer Rick Caruso is reconsidering his decision not to run for LA mayor or elected office this year. It comes after new allegations that Mayor Karen Bass may have ordered a Palisades Fire After Action report to be watered down.
Wall Street Ape says we need prison sentences. Where's the accountability? On the Dark Horse podcast here, Brett Weinstein discussing the latest Epstein file release in episode 312 talks about Kash Patel. Are we ready for this or what? Question of the day. Do you agree or disagree with what Brett Weinstein is about to say right here? Do you agree or disagree?
We fire Kash Patel already? Like, I don't understand. Obviously, he's not on our side for some reason. Is he compromised? Is he afraid? I don't know, but he can't do the job. So anyway, keep in mind that as you focus on the things that we're focusing on, all of which is understandable that we would be focused on it, that you need to remember that this is very likely a game in which you're being fed certain things in order that you not notice the things you don't have. And can we fire Kash Patel already? Like,
tell me in the comments, would you like to fire Kash Patel already? This is pretty funny.
We're
Matt Davis clips here in Los Angeles.
handing out pizza to bums today. If you guys want a free slice of pizza? I've never seen
Crush Ice.
so many homeless people all in one spot with all the signs. It's very nice. We're handing out pizza to bums today. Could I get you a slice of pizza? Steak actually is paying for all the pizza, sending us all free pizza today. I really hope you guys all recover.
No justice!
I love this. I love this. I would give you guys $1, but you guys would probably spend it on crack. So I was going to give you guys some food. What homeless bum doesn't want a free slice of pizza? I got some pizza for you guys. Anytime. We're handing out pizza to bums today. If you guys want.
That's what he did at the end, actually hand it to some bums. Okay. Yeah, normalize calling bums bums again. All right, Alex has been telling us for years, has he not? Yes, he has.
Best knowledge right now what's happening on the planet.
what's happening?
The elite are all about transcendence and living forever and the secrets of the universe, and they want to know all this. Some are good, some are bad, some are a mix.
Okay, you caught that. Secrets of the universe.
But the good ones don't ever want to organize. The bad ones tend to want to organize because they lust after power. Powerful consciousnesses don't want to dominate other people. They want to empower them, so they don't tend to get together until things are really late in the game. Then they come together. Evil's always defeated because good is so much stronger. And we're on this planet, and Einstein's physics showed it, Max Planck's physics showed it, there's at least 12 dimensions. And now that's why all the top scientists and billionaires are coming out saying it's a false hologram. It is. Now, there's like this sub-transmission zone below the third dimension that's just turned over to the most horrible
sub-transmission zone.
Things is what it resonates to. And it's trying to get up into the third dimension that's just a basic level consciousness to launch into the next levels. And our species is already way up in the fifth, sixth dimension, consciously our best people. But there's this big war trying to like basically destroy humanity because...
Doesn't it feel like there's a war to destroy humanity?
Humanity has free will, and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend, not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity.
Supercomputer based on the neural activities of the hive mind. That is sort of like Neuralink with Tesla, by the way.
Humanity.
Or with Elon.
With billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures, so that they will have current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is, once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals or TV. Right. But this is an interdimensional force that wants to influence us to build something that absorbs us and kills us, rather than the divine free will we're given to build something much better that empowers the species.
Are you catching all this? Do you remember watching this at the time when it happened, when Rogan and Alex sort of broke the internet? There's so much going on in this conversation. And over the past week, it's like, how much of anything can you really rule out at this point? Dare I say almost none of it.
So the species is now making a decision
about
its entire future.
Where are you getting this from?
Where are you getting this from? That's a great question.
That's what it is.
But where are you getting it from?
I know, from looking at all the data, researching it, studying it, watching the enemy. That's the big decision that humanity has now got before us. You get someplace finally in deep research where it's what every culture already said, what everybody already knew, what they're telling you in movies like Prometheus, what the elite admit the New York Times they believe in, everything there that isn't naturally occurring.
Who is that?
I mean, if you actually read what all the globalists say, they are getting not off-world, but interdimensional communications to then build this system that we see lowers our IQ, makes us live less.
I hope you caught some of that. It's welcome to the crash course, normies. I don't know what to tell you. 30, 40 years of this stuff, you pick up on a few things over the years. I don't know how to give a crash course on this stuff. It's going to be a million miles a moment. There's just not an easy way around it. Yet we persist. Yet we persist. Keep it flying here. Joe Rogan admits that Alex Jones called Epstein years before anyone cared.
But he was the guy who told me about Epstein's Island more than a decade ago, and I thought it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard. I was like, what are you saying? There's an island. Like, it sounds like a plot in a movie. There's an island where they fly famous rich scientists and politicians, and they compromise them with underage girls and get it on film so they could use it against them. I'm like, what? That sounds like horseshit. That sounds like lizard people. It sounds like, 5G creates COVID. Same thing.
Yeah.
But turns out it was true. And it's one of many things. He was the first one to warn me about a social credit score system. He's like, they're going to try to implement a social credit score system, and your money is going to be tied. They'll have centralized digital currency, and your money will be tied to your social credit score system, and you step out of line, you won't be able to buy things. You won't be able to travel. You won't be able to do anything. They're going to try to keep you within a 15-minute radius of your home, and they're starting to do that in places.
Yeah,
all of it's real. But he was the guy who told me about Epstein's Island more than a...
We all know about Jerry Epstein, okay? And
I don't know about Jerry Epstein.
That was the Lolita Express. Just Google that. And
what is that?
Bill Clinton was like on 20 flights. First it was 7.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
to this pedophile island that has a...
Yeah.
Try to remember 10 years ago, and you're like, who was that? I remember Blake talking about it, because Blake was a longtime listener of Alex Jones. I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're like, okay. Clinton's, yeah, that checks out with Bill for sure. A sex predator, that absolutely checks out, but you sort of didn't know just how deep the rabbit hole went at the time.
Temple in it. And then he was also flying to this Middle Eastern country with this sheik that's an admitted pedophile with multi-million-dollar checks and Bill Clinton on the plane. And Bill Clinton's a known sexual predator. Okay, so all this stuff's going on. We all know about Jerry Epstein, okay? And I don't know about Jerry Epstein. That was the Lolita Express. Just Google that. And
what is that?
Bill Clinton was like on 20 flights. First it was 7.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
to this pedophile.
It's 26 they settled on now, maybe. Did you hear Ron Paul is in the Epstein files? Holy what?
Ron Paul was named 42 times in the Epstein files, but it looks like he was one of the only politicians who looks better, not worse, after being named in the Epstein files. Here's one that says, any conceivable candidate, with the exception of Ron Paul, will be friendlier to Israel than the current administration. And Ron Paul has gained ground after a debate in which his refusal to join the Iran warhawks was front and center, pretty much just admitting that he was indeed the best Republican presidential candidate in both 2008 and 2012. But the craziest part is the Epstein files prove that the Ron Paul revolution and liberty movement that started in 2007 is still one of the strongest forces in US politics today, because the Epstein files wouldn't have been released if it weren't for Ron Paul's disciple and successor in Congress, Thomas Massie, proving that the message of liberty is so strong and true that it only takes one free man to defeat an entire empire of lies. Ron Paul was named 42 times in the Epstein.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Thomas Massie, who President Trump doesn't seem to like, but he follows the New American Media. I need to reach out to him, actually. Put it on the list. Put it on the big list. Starting to go through the list now, so there's going to be some good things happening. Good times. Keeping it rolling. Bill Maher! Check this out, everybody. What does it feel like to be vindicated?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but where does QAnon go for the apology?
Yes.
You know, I mean, QAnon, which believed in lots of really ridiculous things, like, you know, Democrats eat babies.
Yeah.
But they were kind of harping a lot on the idea that the elites are running this pedophile ring. And I mean, I made jokes about them. I also made jokes after the Epstein thing happened originally that were on the idea of, well, you know, obviously there was some smoke there. Well, now with all that's come out in the last couple of weeks, there's a little more than smoke. It does look like anybody who was at all able to get in touch with Jeffrey Epstein, he was the man.
We're doing it.
They just, yeah. I mean, and then they all lied about it. Everybody has, and the arrogance also of thinking they could just use their real name in an email, which they, I can't believe I'm saying this, but where does QAnon go for the apology? They did, and didn't try to couch it in, you know, when I used to get pot before it was legal, it was like, I'd like 2 shirts, please, you know, and no seeds in the shirts this time, you know, you had to sort of codify it. No, they're just openly talking in emails about this sort of, you know, sexual perversion, and that they were all doing, and lots of people who you didn't think, you know, or I never imagined were doing it. I see these names come up. So, you know, I mean, QAnon, yes, a lot of crazy there, but you know what? You weren't totally wrong about that, you know, guys. They did, and didn't try.
Thank you, Bill. Button. I did not have that on my bingo card. Oh, I think there might have been a couple funny ones on this one. Let's see if we can get to them. Carry the Fire says, breaking. Punxsutawney Phil has declared martial law. Did that just happen, the Punxsutawney Phil? Jamie, pull that up. Let's see. Punxsutawney Phil, when did it happen? February 2. Yeah, I figured it was close. I heard about Buckeye Chuck, but I didn't hear about Punxsutawney Phil. Dates back to 1887 in Punxsutawney. Early in the morning, around 7 a.m., 7:25 a.m., members of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club inner circle wake Phil from his Berwick. Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler's Knob. One of the funniest places ever. Right? I would say so. Name me a funnier place than Gobbler's Knob. Carry the Fire says, how about let's propose this? Mr. Beast Netflix show where illegal aliens compete to earn citizenship by hunting Epstein clients using nothing but melee weapons. We film it on the actual island. Would you watch that? I might watch that. And then when Jeff wouldn't give Bill some pills for his drippy D, Bill gets a little mad, you see. He gets his people on the phone and says, shut that MFer's Xbox 360 account down. Because that is part of the story. That he shut down his 360 account. DOJ confirms Punxsutawney Phil named 4,700 times in Epstein files. Spent considerable time on the island. All right. What's wrong, babe? You don't seem excited for another work week where 40% of your hard-earned money is given to the evil global elites. Telling the government to arrest the pedophiles. Well, that's like telling Miley Cyrus to arrest Hannah Montana. That's a crazy one. All right. Chat, are we cooked? Maybe. Is this still the best rant? Oh, I don't know if I can play this because of music.
Look, when you realize how...
No, this is a great rant. You should check this Alex Jones rant. Best rant in history. Can't play it because of the music, though. You guys said... excuse me. About Kash Patel. Marion says, yes, fire him. Lake Leon agrees, gotta go. Kenneth says, Patel, no. Bondi, maybe. Okay. Yeah, David says, the darkness has been around for a long time, but in my opinion, things are about to change. I feel it too. Something does have to change soon. Have any of us watched those 17th letter videos? I mean, I've watched a lot. That is for sure. Oh, this is such a good rant.
How fake it all is. The football, the basketball, the Lady Gaga, the Justin Bieber, who gives you these carbon tax messages. They tell your kids they got to love Justin Bieber, and then Bieber says, hand in your guns, pass the Cybersecurity Act, and the police state's good, and then your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla.
Oh, this is where it ramps up, but the music comes in too much where we can't ignore it.
Or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200 and something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline.
It peaks right here, but like now the music, I can't ignore it.
Destiny, that's will, that's striving,
that's what America's about.
Being a trailblazer.
Lousy music. But what a great intro that is. Love the intro of that song. It's wild.
So let's see. This is Sweet B again.
This group goes to Ilhan Omar's winery.
That is the address where Ilhan Omar's winery is. You can see that a different winery is here, Punchdown Cellars.
What does this note say?
E Street Crew does not make wine here. They were a client many years ago and have ceased operation. They're operating.
It's supposed to say ceased but they said seized.
Address is linked to this address like all other client wineries because of state and federal filings. So I wonder what else they have to show for it. What do you think about that?
I think they're just trying to keep as much distance between them and their business and Illinois.
And some guy comes out,
on the Omars as much
just
as
kind of
possible.
explains.
Yeah.
You guys just do a little more research before.
Well, yeah, that's what we're kind of doing right now.
Would you be so
But
kind
this
to
is,
tell
do
us
you know
about
what this place is?
No, that's why we came
It's a
down here.
custom crush place. A bunch of people use it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like renting instead of owning.
Yeah.
So,
I see.
so there's like about 40 of us in here
Okay.
making wine.
Yeah. It's
What a bad attitude from this guy.
we're just trying to just figure out what is really going on. We see that
Next time, just call because there's nothing going on here.
So they're saying it's just a crushing grounds. You bring all your grapes and you just use their facilities to separate and filter and get it going. So, look, I'm willing to accept that might be an accurate explanation. However, I have my suspicions. This dude, what's this guy's name? We saw him on the Y-Files.
I think the U.S.
AJ Gentile. Talking with Tucker Carlson about thinking the government already unlocked 0-point energy, and they have something with patents now where if it's 20% efficiency difference or more, they make it a national secret so that people can't steal the technology. 3-minute clip I'm not going to play, but you should check it out. AJ interviewed Mike Barra, one of the co-hosts of Strictly Football. Will be on at 3 o'clock in about an hour. So I got to wrap this up, start moving fast. Strictly Football today on the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, brought to you by the New American Media. But Mike was interviewed by him on episode 2 of The Basement. Oh, I don't like hearing this at all. Alex Jones.
They might set a nuke off in D.C. and kill Trump and say Iran did it. Trump's kind of teeing himself up for that. No, I'm serious. I said when they tried to kill the butler, I said, I bet they blame Iran. 2 days later, they blamed Iran. Nobody bought it. Then Trump bought into it and goes, oh, if I get killed, destroy Iran. And Netanyahu was like, yes, good.
Oh,
so if they kill Trump, if Israel kills Trump or the deep state does it, they'll blame Iran. And then we're just, then they can do false flags all over, say the Hezbollah did it. And Hezbollah has real sleeper cells. So they're going to go grab all those guys and have torture a few of them to have them turn state evidence. They said they did it. It's going to be bad. So that's the next place. The next play is a new 9/11, this time blamed on Iran. And Iran has teed itself up perfectly for it. They might set a nuke off.
Why did that video start to go cartoony? Did you notice that? That was weird, wasn't it? Yeah, I did not like hearing that at all. The architect. It's crazy to think that all the people who told us they cared about kids were literally eating them. Oh, boy. Politically, I'm here at a wood chipper. If the Epstein files teach anything, it's that the government is not an instrument of benevolence. It's a sanctuary for child artists, war criminals, career thieves, sex predators. Taxpayer-funded shields for ruling class deviants. Trusting it to save America is delusional. Pub says, it breaks my heart to say, but in order to save this country, we're probably going to have to do things that make women sad. Groundhog Day from CBC Comedy. It's official. Punxsutawney Phil predicts an eternity of darkness from which we will never escape. Yeah, it sort of feels that way, don't it? Trump launches Trump RX, and dozens of the most commonly used drugs will be discounted on the site. The rest of the world is benefiting from our medical achievements in drugs. In some cases, we're paying 20 times what Europeans were. Trump is putting Americans first now. Thank you. You want to hear what's at the bottom of the Epstein files? This goes deep.
Here's what's at the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole.
Congratulations, you've made it to the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole. Pay close attention. Jeffrey Epstein was on the board of directors for an organization called the Lifeboat Foundation. He was also on the board of directors for an organization called Teachers in Space. Look them both up. They actually exist. They have websites. They don't even try to hide what they're doing. The Lifeboat Foundation builds giant underground cities, okay? They openly advertise it, and for a fee, and with an application letter, they might accept you to join their little society where they apparently have whole cities underground. They also advertise being able to take the clients off-world in the event of a catastrophe.
Okay, we know about those things, but I looked it up. They said Jeffrey Epstein was associated with the Lifeboat Foundation, likely on or invited to their advisory board, but there's no evidence he was on the board or any board for Teachers in Space. Just for context, but connect the dots on the story, because everything, like, there's no crazy story that's out of bounds here. We're just considering things.
And it's really interesting because Teachers in Space also talks about taking payloads off-world, which is all really weird, right? It gets even more interesting. You see, Donald Barr was the one who inducted Jeffrey Epstein with zero experience into the Dalton Institute, where he was a teacher. Donald Barr wrote a really interesting book called Relations in Space about an aristocratic elite trafficking children into space. Are you following me here? What's even weirder is the district attorney that was supposed to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein and bring him to justice was literally William Barr, Donald Barr's son. Now, the Lifeboat Foundation is really interesting because in 1996, they pioneered wireless money transfers. They're the second organization in the world to ever do this. This is a decade or two before Bitcoin even was a concept, right? So you got an organization that is doing wireless money transfers that are untraceable, large sums of money, and they're building giant underground infrastructures. It gets even weirder. I found out through looking on archive.org that Lifeboat Foundation has a homeless youth outreach program.
Homeless youth outreach program. There was a Doctor Who episode about this where they're picking up the homeless and eating them or something. Donald Barr, according to Grok, former headmaster of Dalton School in Manhattan, father of former Attorney General William Barr, did hire Epstein as a math and physics teacher, 74, despite Epstein lacking college degree or formal teaching credentials. Okay. Barr, known for unconventional hiring practices, prioritizing interesting candidates over traditional qualifications. Taught for 74 to 76. He had inappropriate behavior towards teenage girls, including attending student parties and showing undue attention in the hallways. Some ambiguity in the timeline. Stepping stone to Wall Street. Donald Barr wrote and published a science fiction novel titled Space Relations, a slightly gothic interplanetary tale in 73, just before Epstein's hiring. So did Barr groom Epstein? The story involves a space diplomat captured by pirates and sold into slavery on a planet called Kosar, where oligarchs engage in ritualized torture, R, and S exploitation of captives, including underage individuals as a form of entertainment and control. The book gained renewed attention after Epstein's 29 arrest and passing. Holy crap. Out-of-print book, copies sell for inflated prices, thousands of dollars on platforms like eBay. No direct evidence Barr and Epstein collaborated on or discussed the book, but the professional overlap at Dalton has fueled speculation. Good Lord.
And they used to have a whole station in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and a whole board of people. They're all out of the Rhinelander, Wisconsin area. And they had this meeting in 2017, a homelessness problem-solving meeting, right? So you have an organization that's interested in homeless youth, interested in wireless money transfers, and interested in underground infrastructure. I don't know if you guys heard about Sasha Riley, but he's telling the truth. He was trafficked by the Epstein elite. He was in snuff films that he survived, but he witnessed people get unalived. And what I'm telling you is it gets crazier. The reason why Epstein surrounded himself with a scientific elite is because he was doing human cloning.
Human cloning. And by the way, it was Bill Barr that was the head of it was sort of Bill Barr's responsibility to make sure Epstein was protected. So you have to assume that it was Bill Barr that took him out.
And he was doing consciousness transferal and stuff like this. I swear to God, I know.
And by the way, I am definitely of the mind that it's at least a 50-50 likelihood that Epstein was taken out of there. He did not, in fact, get terminated there. We'll see how it shakes out, if we can ever find out.
All this gets crazy, but it's true. And what I'm telling you is he had celebrities down there. He had a cloning center down there. And I know because I was in some of these films. They're on the dark web. I'm in films on the dark web, okay? And what they're going to try to say is it's all AI.
Here's what's at the bottom of.
Oh my God. Take it out. Intergalactic, huh? There's an accusation here. Don't know if it's accurate that reporters and networks been named in WikiLeaks to have colluded with the DNC or Hillary campaign during the 2016 cycle. Savannah Guthrie on that list. Well, I would just say most people at NBC were probably accused of colluding with the DNC or Hillary during 2016.
There are new revelations every few seconds on X alone, with people going through the 3 million plus files, the 180,000 photos, the 2,000 videos of world leaders naked at sex parties, all the stuff, references to Satan, Baal, Moloch, human sacrifice, his bank accounts having the name of biblical demons, plans to overthrow Putin, money laundering operations, and then just direct emails of Epstein saying, we have a delicious piece of pizza that's glowing and warm and has a really good time. And, 7 of us are going to share the pizza. And then the people getting back saying, thank you. That piece of pizza was amazing. I want to do it again. Other people, when they're invited back, saying, I'm having nightmares and seeing shadows. Sorry, I'm tapping out. Epstein saying, yeah, everybody doesn't get it. Whoa. Aleister Crowley stuff. All the same type of crap that's in the WikiLeaks. The real Pizzagate stuff. And again, it's centered around New York. Podesta, the 7-year-old, 9-year-old, 11-year-old are well-trained. They'll be delivered to the hot tub at the secluded farm with the pool. The pool will be heated in the hot tub, obviously. And remember, they're well-trained, but they are children. Do not look at Bill Gates, the Clintons, Lord Mandelson, all of these elites, hundreds of them, with clearly in demonic ritualized sex parties. I mean, they say torturing children, eating children. Yeah. I've showed them yesterday. I showed them on the weekend. I'll show them again. I mean, this is next level. Okay, this is what Ted Gunderson told me 30-something years ago was going on, and he had a lot of evidence, but still, it was shocking. There are new revelations every few seconds on.
And while we're all fixating on Epstein, there's another war that continues at full speed. I think we need to refocus and rebalance.
They are going to conquer the country.
America is being attacked right now.
They are going to remove every single person who is a threat to their ideology.
And who's a threat to their ideology? People like us. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, share the show, keep your comments coming. Consider dropping a Rumble Ranter super chat tip or signing up to become a Patreon subscriber or a Rumble or a YouTube monthly subscriber. But we, the viewers who show up to watch the TNAM Daily Show, we are a threat to their ideology.
This is what communists do. If you do not understand that, you are not well read on history. There is no negotiating.
No negotiating. It is 100% sheer power of will. Might makes right. In the commie camp.
These people are all in. Have we not seen evidence of this? Did we not hear them cheer when Donald Trump almost got killed?
Yeah. They sort of let the cat out of the bag with their true intentions.
Do we not see them laugh when Charlie Kirk got killed?
I had people get mad at me because we were calling things out after Charlie Kirk got killed. And I think that person felt bad about it. Deep down somewhere, but I think that person also probably felt some joy because they deemed Charlie Kirk to be a bad person and worthy, deserving of his fate. That person said the opposite to me, I believe, but I don't know if that's what's really in that person's heart. Don't know.
Do we not see them laugh every single time something happens to someone on the other side? But then when something happens on their side, it's world's biggest tragedy. They are.
Yep. And then you boost a whole bunch of other stuff. Always elevate the divisive stuff, even if it's not true. Lake Liam brings up all the Bitcoin and Epstein connections, of course. Marion says there's a very special place deep down in a red hot earth for those people. Disgusting. Lord willing. Mike Benz.
Guys, we just broke the entire Jeffrey Epstein story.
All right, take a look at this perspective. There's so many angles to this. Look, I'm trying to do a good job of giving you different perspectives, different takes on what the Epstein story is about. We could just kind of keep hashing over the same 10 stories, but there's a lot of interesting analysis out there, and there's a lot of stuff I'm learning in real time. So I hope you're getting something out of this in a way that if you were consuming this story on other networks or other programs, you might not be getting the full range of scattershot that we're providing here. We're trying.
Ace Greenberg brought Jeffrey Epstein into the BCCI.
What is the BCCI?
Deals at Bear. That explains literally everything.
At Bear, that means Bear Stearns?
It explains Jeffrey Epstein's meteoric rise. It explains why everyone was so charmed by him. Hint, not because of his charm. It explains how in 1982 he's already meeting with major CIA, MI6, Saudi intelligence officials, Doug Lee, Stan Pottinger, Adnan Khashoggi, Middle Eastern sheikhs. Oh, it's because he handled BCCI at Bear, handling CIA financing, disguising illegal weapons sales as complex financial transactions for commodities or oil. That explains how Jeffrey Epstein got a specialty in complex financial transactions. Oh, because he got it because he was put on the BCCI account. Oh, that explains how he's working with Edgar Bronfman, because BCCI was helping U.S., Saudi, British, but also Israeli interests in the Iran-Iraq affair and in Afghanistan. That explains how he was protected every time he got in trouble with fraud. The Justice Department takes action against Jeffrey Epstein for securities laws violations. Jeffrey Epstein openly says in court that Bear Stearns was actually secretly moving money for the CIA.
Oh, moving money for the CIA secretly. Wow. Who took out Kennedy? Who took a shot at Trump? Why do we have this agency that appears to be completely rogue and anti-American? Why are we tolerating this? BCCI is Bank of Credit and Commerce International in the context of Epstein's time working at Bear Stearns, 76 to 81.
Well, that can't come out in open court. Okay, let's not move forward with prosecution. Don't want to reveal national security secrets. That explains.
Yep, don't give out national security secrets if the CIA is working with Epstein to run money and guns and money launder, so it doesn't show up as that.
How Jeffrey Epstein has these French intelligence connection points. How Jeffrey Epstein has these British intelligence connection points. How he's got these Israeli intelligence connection points. That explains how he's got these Saudi intelligence connection points. And that definitely explains how he has all these CIA connection points. They're all connected through the late 1970s Safari Club network that then scaled up BCCI. Guys, we just...
Wow. Wow. Yeah, Bill Barr's dad handpicked Epstein. Well, let's log into the computer and see what my favorite Hollywood actors are up to. Oh, look, they're all worshiping the devil. This is an important message here. A lot of Alex today. I haven't played a ton of Alex before, but today's a heavy Alex day.
I am here to constantly research politics, economics, culture. And you know that I've been a bellwether at key points in history. And I'm here to tell you now, Melinda French, formerly Bill Gates' wife, going public today and saying he deserves to be prosecuted, and that she's so glad she's away from him. And John McCain's ex-wife saying the same thing, and a whole bunch of other ones. They know what's coming. They said Bill Gates should flee the country. These are rats leaving the sinking ship. This is historic. Now, the enemy's very dangerous right now. So we're not out of the woods yet. But we've been totally vindicated. Today's broadcast, 4 hours long, with top experts, was unbelievably powerful. It's right here on X, Real Alex Show, and it's on Rumble, the Alex Jones Show. I suggest you share it. I suggest you watch it.
Are the rats leaving the sinking ship?
Because
will they start turning on each other?
History's happening now. We've not won the war, but we've won major battles, and we're about to win the war. This is so amazing. Thank you for watching. Research this information for yourself. Look at this information for yourself, because it is beyond incredible. All I can say is thank God, because there's no way they got out of this now. This Epstein release, the public force is so...
Sure hope he's right.
Devastating. And it doesn't even implicate Trump.
It doesn't even implicate Trump.
Trying to spin it that way, it's all the Democrats. And
it's been that way from the jump.
They convinced Trump to try to stop it. It's just whoever gave him that advice, he should immediately get rid of. It's just so crazy. Absolutely insane. 99% of the people in there are all Democrats. It's sex slavery, Satanism, cannibalism, blood drinking, all confirmed. I mean, this is 100 times bigger than Pizzagate. It's just unbelievably insane. And more's coming out every hour. I can't even keep track of it all. It's just all confirmed Epstein emails, total Satanism, total devil worship. Absolutely crazy. I'll be following more reports. God bless you all.
All right. What's this post? St. Anthony the Great says there are 3 traps of Satan that steal joy and peace. 1, regretting about the past. 2, fear for the future. And 3, ingratitude for the present. Well, that's pretty well said. So let's be gratitude for the present. Interesting interaction here.
Like, does this make you uncomfortable? Yeah. Yeah. And why is that? Because you're a traitor if you voted for Trump.
Too much music. But they call her a traitor for voting for Trump, and they have nothing to back it up, as you would expect. Then they claim to not know what they're talking about. It's like, yeah, well, we know you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. Thank you, Billie Eilish. You just accidentally did more to expose the stolen land lie than any conservative in history, according to the Western Journal. Richard Gunnell reminds us that Charlie Kirk was a future president. And we agreed and said, yes, he was. The timeline has been splintered. Charlie Kirk was asked, who rules the world?
Who runs the world? Who runs the world? Well, the scriptures say that Satan actually runs the world. He is the prince of this world. But currently, there's an oligarchy that's really hard to pinpoint of who's actually calling the shots.
An oligarchy.
We now have rule by committee, rule by group, and it really is a secret society that is governing the country.
A secret society made up of who?
Who they are is a mystery. We have some idea, but it's permanent Washington.
The deep state.
That runs this country and most of the Western world.
It's a good question to ask. Do you remember this? From Pinocchio in 1940, Disney?
How would you blokes like to make some real money? Well...
This is about, like, the Epstein stuff.
Have to,
Do I have to K anyone?
No. Nothing like that.
Oh, silly rabbit.
You see?
What do we see? Looking around the corner, make sure nobody's watching.
Stupid little boys.
I'm collecting stupid little boys.
Stupid little boys?
How creepy is this?
You know, the disobedient ones what play hooky from school. Oh. And
the disobedient ones, then.
You see.
And then. And then the realization.
Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island.
Yeah, take him to Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island? But the law. Suppose they... No. There's no risk.
No risk. Just take him to Pleasure Island, all these little boys.
Never come back.
They never come back. The trap door with the sharks. Yeah. It's
as boys.
Demons with money.
I've got a coach load leaving at midnight. We'll meet at the crossroads. And no double crossing. No, sir. Scout around.
Jeez, this dark. This is so damned dark. Bill Maher said he owes an apology. A lot of people owe an apology. What did Tila Tequila?
When they do the symbol, because a lot of in the media, I don't know if they're still doing that today in the land of the living, but I know what I experienced when I went down there. They call themselves the elites, and what it means is the elites of like the satanic kingdom, and they do this thing with the all-seeing eye. As you notice, in the past I had that all-seeing eye too, because I had to become one of them in order to come back and expose them, you see. So this.
Anyway, she gives a whole thing about it. Yeah, she just stopped posting one day and then disappeared, huh? Filmed in 2012, 2013. And they try to make him look crazy for exposing the truth.
Oh my.
All right, you just got music.
An abortion? Well, I'll read it. Fuck it, I'll read it. Who cares? Like feeling when your tummy hurts, you have to push. She said to close my eyes and put her hands over my eyes, but I didn't close them because of these tiny cries. I'm so lost. I saw between her fingers this tiny head and body in the doctor's hands. It reached its tiny arm up and had a tiny foot. I closed my eyes and no more. In the hall, she was beautiful. Why did she stop whimpering? She was born. I heard the tiny cries. I can't do this anymore.
Ah, yeah. Jackson Hinkle says Hollywood producer Barry Josephson emailed Epstein. I've been thinking a lot about that question you asked Bill Gates. How do we get rid of poor people as a whole? Mm-hmm. They hate people. All the goy. New report links Rashida Tlaib to terrorists. Yeah, we've been saying that since we ever heard Rashida Tlaib's name.
Sounding the alarm on what it calls serious ethical and national security concerns related to Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib. In a new report, the group alleging that she has ties to terrorist organizations. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joins us after looking into this report tonight, which focused on everything from campaign contributions to public speeches, break down everything you know.
So the Institute for the Study of
Anyway, they're going to give a deep dive, but let's start looking into Rashida Tlaib. This is the Ben Swan part? Yes, it is. Watch Ben Swan's... did I play this one yesterday?
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something.
Or did I play this earlier today?
That was President Trump wanting to move on the conversation from the Epstein file.
Yeah, I think it was. Watch Ben Swan's reports. What is this post? Godfather of Chaos. They're claiming 44 boxes are missing from the FBI raid in Fulton County Election Commission. Fulton County clerk and the election director claimed they had 700 boxes, but they only gave the FBI 656 boxes. To the agents during the raid, that FBI chief that tipped them off better get prosecuted. Not sure if that's accurate, but keep your eyes peeled. Lauren Chen says SNAP is no longer subsidizing buying junk food. Is that true? Is that accurate? Is SNAP no longer subsidizing junk food? I know they've talked about it. Did they actually do it? No. It's not universally stopping the subsidization of however, significant changes are rolling out in the states, many states. Make America Healthy initiative. SNAP generally still allows purchase of soda, candy, soft. Oh, come on. Energy drinks, sugary processed items. As long as they're not hot or prepared food or alcohol or tobacco. Why can't you get hot or prepared food? Just go get a chicken, a rotisserie. Come on. State level waivers are the big shift. SNAP food restriction waivers for at least 18 states will let individual states redline food for purchase under SNAP, excluding certain unhealthy items, starting at various points in 26. Common restrictions are targeting soda, soft drinks, candy, energy drinks, sweetened beverages, and desserts and cakes. Yeah, you don't get desserts and appetizers when you're poor. Growing up, I mean, we barely ever got desserts or appetizers. Rarely went out. It's too expensive. Everything was always too expensive because that's how you live if you have a budget. You try to. So in a lot of places, they're restricting buying junk food is the way to say that, Lauren Chen. Now the price of junk food is dropping. Could you imagine if we applied this principle to college or healthcare? PepsiCo has now cut Lay's and Doritos prices as much as 15% to boost sales. Important. What's your smoking gun on Trump and Epstein?
Finally, we have a smoking gun on Trump. Trump engaging in freaking pedophilia with Epstein, an unidentified female friend who was, quote, forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey when she was 13 years old. But the problem with that claim is that it's just like not true at all.
I mean, if you consider it being not true at all to be a problem with the claim, sure.
In this very same document, at one point, it states explicitly that the person was spoken to and deemed not credible. That did not.
So just being named, being accused doesn't mean that you're actually guilty. That applies to everybody.
Not stop tons of liberals, retarded right-wingers from claiming that Trump was somehow involved in this like sex trafficking, rape, murder ring out of one of his golf courses, which, by the way, when this was alleged to have happened,
yeah, it's allegedly at a golf course, but it wasn't his golf course.
Happened in the 1990s. Trump did not even own that course until like 10 years later. So it's like you're going to treat this document as credible. Finally, the smoking gun. And in that same smoking gun, it tells you, hey, by the way, this is like not credible. This person's insane. The dates are not even true. The wires are crossed. And you're like, nice try, FBI. I'm going to believe that part and disregard the rest because I'm a retarded person. Literally zero evidence.
No evidence
that Donald Trump committed crimes, sexual or otherwise, with Jeffrey Epstein. It doesn't exist. Put it in front of me. I'm always guaranteed. It's around the corner. It's around the corner.
The walls are closing in.
And this is it. It's your documents that are literally, it says on the documents, didn't happen. It's schizophrenic. It's not credible. Finally, we.
Yep. I got people starting to kind of turn on Trump, but it's kind of foolish.
Not ready for what I found in the Epstein files. Do you remember when I went on Dr. Phil and said that President Biden wasn't actually Biden and it was just someone in a face mask?
Remember that? And you'd see all those, it looked like it was lifting at the neck, lifting at the ears, lifting at the...
Everybody laughed, including Dr. Phil.
But you think the president may not even be Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't think that it probably is Joe Biden. If you look at Joe Biden from 10, 20 years ago and the Joe Biden now, I am not going to gaslight myself into believing that is the same person.
Let's read this email. Biden is not your current president. The mask malfunctions on Biden are getting worse each day. On purpose. This will end badly for blank, who is posing with a clone on Facebook. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who... That's an actor with a mask. We've been over this 1,000 times. It's never going to change. There's also mentions of crimes against humanity and other stuff in this email. I guess I wasn't so crazy after all.
Well, once again, you're not citing evidence. At least Grok is saying recent Epstein dumps, a lot of raw, unverified tips and emails from random people. Because that's what the law says. If it's in there, you got to release it. And it's like, well, this stuff doesn't make sense. It's not verified. Nope, you got to do it anyway. That's why it's like, Thomas Massey, why are you pushing for that if it's just going to muddy the waters? I sort of see both sides on it. Unverified tips and emails from random people. One anonymous submission alleges Biden was replaced in 19 by an actor wearing a mask or a body double clone. This is not from any verified Epstein evidence or investigation or credible source. DOJ explicitly said these are just third-party tips. And inclusion does not equal truth or endorsement. And that's, if it's true for Trump, it's true for others, okay? It's the same recycled conspiracy theory about masks and doubles and CGI Biden that's, okay, Grok, you're lying. I'm going to say thumbs down. You are speculating that body doubles and masks are debunked. No, that is false. Not proving something yet is not the same as debunking something. Okay. So no, it doesn't make you uncrazy because some you could have been the one that provided that tip, for all we know. So it's not exactly evidence, is what I'm getting at. All right, rapid fire round.
And let's get this out of the way first. Your president is in the files. Yeah, this Democrat said, this is sworn testimony. Trump threatened to unalive her. Uh-oh, that wasn't even from the Epstein files that were released by the DOJ. That's from a decade-old civil lawsuit that was filed against President Trump by a mental woman named Katie Johnson, and the entire thing was thrown out of court because she made it all up. And this? 16-year-old witness claims they were a victim in witness trafficking at Trump's golf course in California from 1995 to 1996. Oh, problem. Trump didn't purchase Ranchos Palos Verdes, the California golf course, until 2002, and it didn't open until 2006. Also, the complaint was deemed not credible, and she had several mandatory psych evaluations. We could do this all day. These screenshots are from a Department of Justice document with National Threat Operations tip line submissions. That tip line receives 3,000 to 4,500 tips and calls a day. Many report secondhand information, and all of the claims are unverified. So you're seeing far lefties online trying to make fetch happen with Trump because a rando called in an anonymous tip 10 years ago. It's not going to happen. We've been over this. President Biden was president for 4 years. He had all the same stuff.
Yeah. There's more to it, but I got to roll because we got another show coming up. Oh, this is wild.
So The Atlantic posted this on X. They said, if the Epstein scandal teaches us anything, it's that America needs a dedicated and decently funded group of people whose job it is to not only ask questions, but to find answers. They said, let's call them journalists. Now, on the surface, that's not a crazy thing to post, but I think you're all familiar with this woman, right? This is Ghislaine Maxwell. But do you know who that is? That is the woman that owns The Atlantic. You know, the people that posted this, she fucking owns that. Like, that's the insanity of the world we're living in, where you are being talked down to by the people who hung out with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, that's the insanity of the situation we're in today, where reporters are literally talking shit to people about shit they were involved in. Like, how do you post that without even a hit, like no irony whatsoever? Like, you don't pick up on the fact that the person that owns your newspaper hung out with them. You have the nerve. So The Atlantic posted this on X.
Yeah. Oh, The Atlantic. Isabella Maxwell, sister Ghislaine, Epstein's partner in Epstein Island in their blackmail ring, daughter of Robert Maxwell, the most infamous spy in Mossad history, founder of Maxwell Publishing that made all U.S. school books and controlled most scientific publishing since 1948. No big deal. She's just the head of tech and technology utilization implementation for the globalist oligarchy's biggest government body implementing the New World Order, according to Matthew Murphy. Okay, but what do we know about Isabella Maxwell? Let's deep dive a little further.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Joe Biden wasn't actually Joe Biden and was wearing a mask for most of his presidency? Well, that's what a disgruntled employee from Estimote. Anyways.
Estimote.
It's contained in the Epstein files, okay? He talks about Biden is not the current president and the mask malfunctions are getting worse every day. Oh, you mean like this malfunction?
I mean, that's super weird. We saw all this stuff in real time.
Or this malfunction. That happened. That's pretty weird. Or even just looking at these two people here.
One's an alien and the other's a dirtbag.
And being like, oh wow, that doesn't actually really look like the same guy.
Doesn't really, does it?
At all. And by the way, they literally Robert Durst. They literally caught Robert Durst with one of these masks, like, are very real. But listen, I'm sure, don't be a crazy conspiracy. Like 6 inches.
Somehow Joe Biden grew 6 inches
during his presidency. Irrelevant. No, stop noticing. Back.
That's weird. Someone here claims that there's images of Epstein
So we know that Jeffrey Epstein died on August 10th, 2019 in Manhattan, New York. And we also know that Jeffrey Epstein signed a new will 2 days before his death.
Oh, and that there was a 2019 Dayton, Ohio mass shooting, and it offed the nephew of one of the investigators. It's a 5-minute report. I can't play it all, but look into the Ohio shooting. This one says they studied prion disease, which is what you get if you consume human brain. You can get prion disease, and they were seeking some mathematical formula to deal with that. Wow. Allegedly.
Well, about the fact that there was someone who actually told Laura Ingraham in person, one of the protesters said, "I am paid to be here." She admitted to it. And what I find very interesting is while this all happened, the story resurged about the 2 state reps from Minnesota who were murdered cold blood, I think, over this last summer.
Yeah.
And
Bolter was the assassin.
Yeah, and he worked for Tim Walz up until 2023.
Yep.
So it's like, are people just ignoring the facts? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like
Well, people are ignoring the facts. And the great Dan Bongino used to say this, they're vaccinated against facts. Okay. They've gotten a vaccine. They take the jab. Now they cannot process factual information anymore. They can only process what is acceptable in their worldview.
Yeah, so Vance Bolter and that lady, that Melissa Hortman, was terrified. I think the Democrats took her out. They tried to blame it on Republicans. Joe Rogan was on the Epstein list.
This is about Bill Gates.
Stuff. See, Rogan was the Epstein.
Huh?
You see, Rogan was mentioned in the Epstein files. No. Yeah. Rogan was. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see it? Why? Well, no, it makes him look good because they tried because Rogan had a guest on, and Epstein emailed that guest and was like, "Yo, man, would love to be on Rogan. Can you connect me?" And he's like, "I haven't heard from him." Rogan was like, "Fuck off." This is years ago too, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, he just thought Rogan was funny. And
This is a few
wanted to
days
meet him.
later. This is 2017. After Jeffrey Epstein asked Lawrence Krauss to connect him to Rogan, Krauss relays the bad news that Rogan isn't at all interested in meeting with him. Yeah. Has Rogan told you the story? No. It's awesome. Yeah. He's basically like, "Get the fuck I out can of here." imagine Yeah. Rogan be like, "Get the fuck out." Yeah, that's exactly what he's telling him. Especially if he knew. Look, so Jeffrey Epstein goes, "I saw you did the Rogan show. Can you introduce me? I think he's funny." He goes, "I'll reach out to Rogan." I could have told you how this can go, Bubba.
Yeah, it did not go well. He wanted nothing to do with him because he was warned by Alex Jones. Good thing to be warned, isn't it? What's the CIA even about?
Was a woman in this foreign intelligence service.
A lot of music. But this is a guy where he's telling this story about this ugliest woman intelligence service, and he goes to his boss and says, "You need to sleep with her." And he's like, "What? Oh my gosh. All right." And the guy starts laughing. "I'm just kidding. Just befriend her and make it." He goes, "Oh my God, I thought you were going to make me do it." Like, there's nothing they won't do. A little too much music on that clip. Terry Crews tried to tell us what was happening in Hollywood years ago, but nobody listened. Hey, does this resonate with anyone else?
Oh, she's racist. She's homophobic. She only likes the white people. She's only looking for white approval. I hate people who are retarded. Period. Gay, white, black, broke, blue, yellow, green. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're a retard, you're a retard. Just clearing up some things. Oh, she's...
She articulated what I say on this show all the time when it comes to race or whoever you worship. I don't care what you're into in your bedroom. I don't care the pigment of your skin. I don't care which version of God you choose to have, as long as that version doesn't deem you have to declare war on me and kill me if I don't convert to your version of whatever you deem is appropriate. Then I'm cool with anyone doing whatever that is. I just don't like bad people, dumb people, whatever they look like. That resonates a lot. Yeah, so tell us, astrology ain't real, but a groundhog tells the weather? Sure. This lady says it's time to start telling brown people that you're voting for Trump. Wait, what is it? Hold on. Wait, she says what?
I think it's time to start telling brown Trump supporters that we've reported them to ICE, whether we have or not. I haven't. I've said that to 3 different people, and every single one said, well, why would you do that? I don't know. You were brown. Your name was Gonzalez. It was scary.
Yet somehow we're the racist? So let me get this straight. You looked at someone, saw their skin color and last name, and thought ICE threat?
That's not activism, babe. That's racial profiling. First of all, any brown person who voted for Trump is not getting detained by ICE. You want to know why? Because they're legal citizens. They followed the law. They value doing things the right way instead of cutting the line. Second, I've never looked at a brown person and thought, oh, they're scary. But apparently you only love minorities when they vote blue. But the second they don't agree with you politically, suddenly it's intimidation, ICE jokes, and stereotypes. So you don't actually see people, you see votes. And the only color you care about? Blue. And by the way, a lot of Hispanics voted for Trump. So what now? You mad they used their right to vote? Very peaceful, very tolerant, very party of love. Yeah, you really thought this was a flex, but all it did was expose who you really are.
Yeah, good times. Let them talk. They'll tell you who they are. Virginia Democrat lawmakers are seeking to pass a 10 Democrat, 1 Republican 2026 congressional map. You got Republicans, you got to do what they're doing. CNN admits Trump is telling the truth and cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein once Trump learned of Epstein's misconduct at Mar-a-Lago in 2003. Dissident media is now informing you the most bizarre possibility could be happening. Jeffrey Epstein's Fortnite account is live and active in Israel and has been multiple times in the last year alone. I got to ask Grok. Is the Jeffrey Epstein Fortnite account active in Israel? What does Grok say about that? No. There is no Jeffrey Epstein Fortnite account that's legitimately his and active in Israel or anywhere else. Viral conspiracy hoax. Old receipts show Epstein had a YouTube username Littlest Jeff 1. 2019 email mention of a $26 V-Bucks purchase in Fortnite, but the sender recipient redacted. Internet sleuths found a Fortnite player profile named Littlest Jeff 1 on third-party trackers. Some activity post-2019 flagged or location data suggesting Israel, possibly an Israeli flag on the profile with server pings or metadata. The profile went private shortly after going viral. This fueled wild claims. Epstein faked his 19 death, is alive in Israel, Mossad protection, spy ties, and has been grinding Fortnite with wins in recent seasons. The reality? Epic Games officially responded. It was a ruse by an existing player. Someone changed their username to that after the YouTube name surfaced in the files. Fortnite trackers only show current usernames, not history, so it looked like an old account, suddenly active. No record ties it to Epstein's emails. Multiple networks confirm it's a spoof and a troll. No credible evidence that he's alive or gaming. All right, so that's a current version of that then, isn't it? President Trump shares the below post on Truth Social. Julian Assange said there's no dirt on President Trump. Even when Obama was spying on him, he couldn't find anything to compromise Trump. He's clean. That's why all they can do now is recycle old allegations that are unproven and have already been debunked. Candace thinks that Erica Kirk was involved, but we know that. Police arrest this guy, Ed Hu, in Minneapolis after he allegedly called for ICE agents to be paid and targeted federal personnel. Liz Wheeler's number one biggest takeaway from the Epstein files is that Trump has been totally exonerated. Ready Player Wolf says, if this is going where we think it's going, and it allegedly shows a post that says, any interest in being on the Shadow Commission on 9/11? The membership list is secret. Someone in France threw a grenade into a salon or something? Horrible. Parents in Iowa school district confront the board members after a school counselor sends inappropriate messages to students. All sorts of stuff. Don't have time to get into the X feed today because I got a relaunch for Strictly Football. Thank you to everybody in the TNAM universe out there. What are you saying? Well, Grok, can you show us proof he's no longer with us? Yeah, AI is a tool. I don't trust it, but it's a starting point of consideration. Nothing beats your research. If you find anything that's incorrect, tell me about it. Tweet us at American_media_ on X, and we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone. Hit like, hit subscribe, Rumble Rants and Super Chats, and sign up on Patreon if you would. I'm going to launch the Strictly Football Show, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.